let the light of truth shine through your every breath. When your heart is pure, you will see God in your heart. Paramahansa Yogananda. Do you ever feel different from the majority? A deep peace creeps through you even as the world out there is shaking? Have you ever experienced moments when everything around you suddenly became so clear, as if an invisible veil had just been lifted, revealing another layer of meaning in life? If you are reading these lines, perhaps somewhere in your soul, something is urging you to realize a silent transformation, an awakening of the higher vibrational waves within you. It's a moment where you not only live, but are awake to live. And according to the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, it is a sign that you are on the path of spiritual evolution, where your mind and soul gradually blend into the higher frequencies of the universe. So what are those signs? Are you quietly changing, not by the outside world, but by the rise from within yourself? Let me delve into ancient knowledge to shed light on this. Silence becomes your companion. In the noisy and chaotic modern world, it is rare for anyone to find joy in silence. But if you start to find yourself craving moments of peace, enjoying the silence instead of being afraid of it, that's a clear sign of heightened vibration. Yogananda once said, "Silence is not emptiness. It is where the soul hears the call of God." I remember the first time I felt this clearly. On a quiet night, as I was meditating under the moonlight, I realized that I didn't need anything to fill my mind. No music, no distractions. I was simply present. And in that moment, I felt an infinite abundance from within me, as if the universe and I were no longer two separate entities. Do you feel that way? Do you feel that you like silence more and more, want to get away from noisy and crowded places? If so, cherish it. Because stillness is the gateway to enlightenment. You are no longer affected by negative things. Notice one thing: in the past, when someone said something negative to you, were you hurt? When an unexpected event occurs, are you easily angry or desperate? But what now? Do you find yourself becoming more and more calm in the face of life's ups and downs? It is not insensitivity, but a sign of awakening. Because when your mind is operating at a higher frequency, low vibrations such as anger, resentment, or suffering can no longer cling to you. Like a solid mountain in the face of a storm, your mind gradually becomes immobile in the face of life's fleeting waves of emotions. Paramahansa Yogananda once taught, "When you understand that the world is just a dream, you will no longer let the little things disturb you. You will live as a dream-awake person, not as one who is carried away by it." There is a very good story about this. One day, a man came to Yogananda and said, "Teacher, I am always influenced by other people's criticisms. If someone says you're not good enough, you'll be sad. If someone praises you, you will be happy. But I know that I am dependent on the judgment of others. What should I do?" Yogananda smiled and replied, "Imagine that you are a big rock in the middle of the river. The fast-flowing water can pass by, it can hit you, but it can't take you away. Only small grains of sand are washed away." The man understood. And I believe you're getting that too. If you realize that you are becoming less susceptible to judgment, praise, or negative influences from the outside world, then congratulations, you are shifting to a higher frequency. Your intuition is getting stronger and stronger. Have you ever felt something before it happened? Have you ever met someone and immediately felt a sense of trust, or, conversely, felt uncomfortable even though you didn't know why? If the answer is yes, you are experiencing one of the clear signs of vibrational elevation, the awakening of intuition. Yogananda once taught that when a person lives in mindfulness, They not only rely on reason, but also know how to listen to their inner voice. Intuition is not a mystery, it is the language of the soul, the connection between man and the whole wisdom. Think back to the times you felt something before it happened. That's no coincidence. It's a sign that you're expanding your ability to sense energy, and the higher your vibration, the more accurate your intuition will be. The closer you get to the truth, the more gentle you feel, like a breeze. What used to weigh me down will no longer weigh on my heart. Paramahansa Yogananda. You feel unconditional love for everyone. In the past, you may only love those who are good to you, or only care about those close to you. But as your vibrational frequency increases, you realize that love is no longer limited to personal relationships. You begin to feel compassion for even strangers, even those who have hurt you in the past. Not because you forget the past, but because you see through it. You see that everyone is on their own path, with lessons that they need to go through. Yogananda once said, "You can't really love if your heart is still limited by discrimination. Love as God loves, a love that knows no boundaries." There is a very good story about this. Once, a disciple came to Yogananda and said, "Teacher, you can love people who are good to you. But with those who hurt me, I can't love them. Is that wrong?" Yogananda smiled and replied, "Imagine that you are the sun. Does your light selectively shine on anyone? Or do you illuminate everything, whether it's a beautiful flower or a rough stone?" The disciple was silent. If you realize that you are gradually loving without reason, without condition, then congratulations, it is a sign that you have reached a higher frequency of vibration. You appreciate simple things more and more. In the past, you may have thought that happiness lies in great things, a successful job, a valuable asset, or recognition from others. But now you see that true joy comes from very simple things. You begin to appreciate. A cool breeze brushes your face. The morning light gently penetrates the foliage. The sound of sea waves lapping against the sand. The sound of birds singing echoes in space. All of these things, in the past, may have been just normal things, but now, you feel them with your whole heart. Paramahansa Yogananda once taught, "When you live in silence, even a falling leaf can bring you enlightenment." Do you realize this in your own life? If so, it is a sign that your mind has become as clear as the surface of a calm lake, reflecting the light of the universe perfectly. You notice that everything is connected. Have you ever stood in front of a river and felt that you were not just a small individual, but that you were really part of the whole of life? When you reach a high vibration frequency, you no longer find yourself separated from this world. You realize that everything, from humans, animals, nature, to distant stars, is invisibly connected. Yogananda once said, "We are all just waves in the same ocean." Nothing is really divided, it's just that your mind isn't awake enough to see it. And when you realize this, you begin to live with a new consciousness. You respect nature more, because you know you're a part of it. You treat others better, because you know they're a part of you. You no longer feel lonely, because you know you always belong to the whole universe. This is the state that enlightened masters always talk about, a feeling of unity, where there are no more boundaries between me and the world. You are no longer easily dominated by emotions. Think back to a time ago, when someone said something negative, you might have reacted immediately. You may be feeling hurt, angry, or frustrated. But now, something has changed. You can still feel emotions, but they no longer control you. You can observe the anger, but don't let it dominate your actions. You can see sadness, but don't let it drag you down into the abyss. This is a clear sign of a person who has reached inner equilibrium. You no longer react, you respond consciously. You don't get caught up in other people's emotional spirals. You understand that emotions are just waves on the surface of the ocean, but you are the ocean. Paramahansa Yogananda once taught, "A truly awake person is not someone who never gets angry, but someone who knows how to keep his mind like a flat lake, no matter how many stones are thrown in." Do you feel more and more calm in the face of life's vicissitudes? If it is, then it is a sign that you are really entering a higher vibration. You become sensitive to the energy around you. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the atmosphere there? Have you ever met someone and immediately knew if they were happy or sad, even if they didn't say a word? When you vibrate at high frequencies, you start to become extremely sensitive to the energy around you. You can feel the energy of a place, whether it's a forest, a temple, or a busy street. You may feel the presence of other energy fields, including the high vibrations of spiritual entities. You realize that every thought, word, and action emits a wave of energy, and you can feel them clearly. This can make you want to stay away from negative environments. You will find yourself drawn to places of fresh energy, tranquil forests, serene beaches, or spaces filled with light and harmony. And the most important thing, you will learn how to protect your energy field so that it is not affected by low vibrations. Tip: take time in nature to purify your energy. Practice meditation to maintain stability. Stay away from negative conversations or news sources that reduce your frequency. You experience synchronization continuously. Have you ever thought about someone and immediately afterwards they texted or called you? Have you ever searched for an answer and immediately came across a book, a conversation, or a message that gave you the answer? If these things happen more often, then congratulations, you are experiencing synchronicity. This is a sign that you are in tune with the flow of the universe. You're no longer swimming upstream, instead, you're letting the natural flow lead you to what you need. You find the right person, the right time. You get important messages when you need them most. Everything seems to magically connect with each other. Carl Jung, a great psychologist, described synchrony as the way the universe communicates with you. Paramahansa Yogananda also said, "When you are immersed in the flow of the universe, everything you need will come to you without you having to force it." Have you ever experienced these magical moments? If yes, then it is a strong sign that you are living in harmony with the cosmic energy. Keep your heart as pure as the sky, and you will see the light of God within yourself. Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi, as you continue on your spiritual journey, your vibrations not only affect your body, your emotions, or the way you see the world, but it also opens up possibilities that you never knew before. The next signs not only indicate that you are vibrating at a high frequency, but also mark a higher level of spiritual awakening. So, what changes will appear when you enter a state of transcendent awareness? You feel like everything is going on at the same time. Have you ever experienced the extended present moment where time no longer seems to be linear? You feel that the past, present, and future all exist in a single reality. You understand that every event in life is not a fragmented moment, but is perfectly interconnected. You begin to realize that everything is already arranged, nothing happens randomly. This is a sign that you are entering a state of timeless cognition, a higher level of consciousness where all things are linked in a divine order. Advice: sit in meditation and observe the flow of time without clinging to the past or the future. When something happens, ask yourself, What is the message of the universe in this situation? Let everything go its way, because you're on your way. You no longer feel isolated from the world. Have you ever felt that you are no longer an individual, but a part of the entire universe? This is one of the clearest signs of an enlightened mind. You realize that all things, people, and beings are different manifestations of a single entity, the true self. You no longer feel isolated or separated from others, even when you're alone. You understand that every boundary between me and others is just an illusion created by the mind. This is oneness, the highest state of mind that enlightened beings such as the Buddha, Ramana Maharshi, or Lao Tzu spoke of. Recognize that you and the universe are no longer two separate entities, but a single whole. You realize that the ego is just an illusion. All the pain, anxiety, fear, and suffering that people experience comes from a single thing, the ego. The ego makes you believe that you are a separate individual. Diamond with a dot. The ego makes you compare yourself to others, worrying about fame, status, and success. Diamond with a dot. The ego is what makes you always look for happiness on the outside, instead of realizing that true happiness is always inside of you. But as you raise your vibration, you will begin to see clearly the illusory nature of the ego. You are no longer bound by thoughts of I'm better than someone else or I'm not good enough. You no longer attach too much importance to criticism or praise from others. You begin to see clearly that the me you once believed was real, just a shadow in your mind. This is an extremely important turning point on the journey of enlightenment. When the ego gradually dissipates, you will feel absolute freedom, a freedom that nothing can bind. Practice self-letting go. When you feel hurt or offended, ask yourself, who is hurting? When you're worried about the future, remind yourself, it's all ego games, nothing really matters. When you feel the need to prove yourself, remember, there is nothing to prove, because I am who I am. Boundless light state. When the mind settles like the surface of a quiet lake, truth will reveal itself. Lao Tzu. As you continue to raise your vibration, you will notice that things that were important in the past gradually become meaningless, and eternal truths begin to be revealed. You are no longer the old self, you are transforming into light, gradually dissolving into a broader state where love, wisdom, and purity become the only reality. The following are the next signs that you have entered a state of boundless light. You feel the presence of the divine light. Are there times when you just sit still and a deep sense of serenity fills your whole body? It is a sign that God's presence in you is becoming clearer than ever. You don't need to look for the light far away, you start to see it right inside you. When you close your eyes, you feel a bright, warm energy. It was as if an inner sun was shining from within. When you look at others, you see the light inside them, no matter who they are, no matter what level of consciousness they are at. This is the moment when you have no doubt about the existence of absolute truth. Light bulb practice connecting with the divine light. Take time to sit in silence, feeling the subtle vibrations in your heart. Imagine a brilliant white ball of light spreading from the center of your heart, expanding throughout your body. Realize that you are the light, not the body, not the mind, but the pure light itself. You become a pure observer, no longer influenced by emotions. Have you noticed that negative emotions no longer have the power to control you? In the past, when someone said something offensive to you, you might get angry. But now, you simply observe it as a cloud drifting through the sky, without reacting. You become a pure observer, a boundless mind that sees everything happen without attachment. When someone criticizes you, you are no longer hurt. When someone praises you, you are no longer ego-stimulated. When a negative thought appears, you just observe it, letting it come and go like the wind. This is the no-mind state where everything happens without leaving a trace on you. Pure observation practice. When a strong emotion arises, don't react immediately. Take a deep breath and observe it as if you were watching a wave in the ocean. Realize that you are not that emotion, you are just a witness to it. Each time you practice so, you are getting closer to absolute freedom. How to maintain and enhance your vibration frequency. If you've already started experiencing these signs, congratulations. That means you're on the path of spiritual evolution. But how to maintain and continue to raise your frequency? Here are some tips from Paramahansa Yogananda. Meditate every day. When you meditate, you synchronize your energy with the energy of the universe. Always live in gratitude, cherish every moment, even the smallest things. Keep your heart open to love. Don't let anger, resentment, or fear diminish your frequency. Stay away from negative energies. Choose environments, people, and mindsets that give you peace. Connect with nature. Mother Earth has always been the greatest healer. The last word from the light of Yogananda. As you walk on the path of enlightenment, there will be times when you feel lonely because not everyone understands you. But don't worry, because you're not alone. Whenever you feel lost, remember, you are on the path that the masters have taken before. You are entering a new vibrational layer of the universe. You are becoming a light for yourself and for those around you. And as Yogananda said, you don't have to go looking for God. You just need to quiet your heart and He will appear. Keep walking, the light is always in you. Namaste.